Hi, my name is Aaron, and I make video games. Join me for a quick run through of what I believe are the most important aspects of making a multi path experience for the player. Hi, I created this level in Far Cry 5 editor in order to show a level design concept of being able to create multiple play routes to give the player the ability to explore the game world and play the way they want to play. Not everybody likes to charge in guns blazing and blast everything around them. Not all people enjoy being able to sneak around the back and get in through the side door. It's important to make sure that when you're designing your level and you want to incorporate multiple play styles, be intentional with the route and how you place objects and how you place enemies to make sure that the experience is um, fulfilling regardless of the play style. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so I have the beginning area. The first real encounter is right here. There's a couple of different ways you can go about it. Uh, so I designed this first area to entice the player to see the smoke to come across directly across. But if they want to look around, or they want to be more cautious, if they want to sneak around the rock, if they want to look for opportunities to engage, then they can. If they want to charge right in, depending on their loadout, and start bashing heads, they can do that too. So I intentionally put a stealth weapon close enough to the encounter so that it opens up that other opportunity. If they want to charge right in, or if they want to sneak, if they come across this bow and want to sneak around the back, that's an option too. All right, then we continue up this path right here. Now here's the first main split in the design. The player has the option to go charge up, or they see this crowded area. Now keep in mind they're seeing the view from here, but they can see that there is something going on up here. They may not be able to see all of the details, but they can see that there's something interesting to look at. It's the first time that you come across trees in the game, and so that will entice the player to continue on up. Or, and this is the direct route, or they can continue on this path here and maybe scout the area, look for an alternative. Okay, so let's go up the the path here and see what the player is going to come across. So they're immediately met by a pather. Okay, this guy's somewhere. I never quite know where he's going to be with Far Cry Arcade. And then you continue up here, and you've got immediately have cover. Okay, but you don't probably know. You may hear them talking, but you don't know what's going on. You don't know where they're at. You can see the sniper tower over here, and you can see a building off to the left. So your options really, I mean, it's up to the player. But all of the trees count as cover and concealment, so the player can tactically make a decision how they want to approach. This guy has a couple of options, so he's not always standing right there. Sometimes he'll be over here at the radio, and sometimes he'll be standing right here. I can tell you, if he's standing at the window and you're right here and you walk out, he'll see you. So a lot of this happens is kind of chance, right? So sometimes you'll have to, you may need to go this way in order to come in through the door and come up behind him. He may be standing right there in front of the door and see you immediately. You may be able to come around this way and go to your sniper friend up here first and take him out. Once you have him, pretty easy to sneak around the back. So the point of this encounter is first of all to introduce the multiple avenues that the player can take. provide options, and give the player the experience, the capability of learning. Right? If they charge right up to the front and the guy is right there and they get shot and they have to start over, they've learned. The player has learned that that's probably not the best way to go about it. So the next time they'll take a different option. They'll take a different route. They'll try something new, something they hadn't done before, uh, and eventually become successful. All right, so this is the kind of the second major encounter on the direct path. So the direct path then continues up this path up here. Player will come across animals along the way. So there's a bunch of animals placed up here, which will provide them kind of just, it's basically just filler challenge as they look around. They see that there's an area over here that might house something, or they can continue on up. This area also leads around to the back side of the island, which I'll show later. And this is kind of to give the player an exit. If they're like, okay, I don't know if I like this direct path where I have to fight everything head on. This gives them the ability to explore, run around the backside where there are significantly fewer enemies, and give them that off ramp. All right, so we're going to continue back up the main path. Okay, so this is another major encounter. Now these guys are supposed to stay right here, due to the Far Cry 5 arcade jank, uh, and my inability to correct it. They are not always in this area. Oftentimes they're up over here, or they've wandered down here. The nice thing is that it adds a bit of dynamic expectation, or it allows the player to be surprised, right? They're unintentional pathers, is what they are. So the player will encounter this. This is kind of the first area where down here, down in the first couple of encounters, if the player decides to use non-silenced weapons, it's not really going to alert everyone. It may, depending on how close they are to like this sniper. But right here, if you don't decide to take a stealth approach, you're gonna alert the entire base. And so this is intentional too, because what I have is a means to or a means of coming through behind this rock, and another path behind that allows the player to get behind the bad guys, or they can charge right up the middle. It's up to the player. Okay, so from here there's a couple of different ways. So the player can come all the way around. The player can take a zip line down to the backside of the island, which also leads to kind of the stealth route, which I'll talk about in a minute. Or they can just continue on up the direct route. Okay, you've got a sniper over here. The sniper over here can be in several different positions. He can be looking out. He can be looking directly at where the player will be. He can be over here. He can be resting. He can be standing over here resting. And that's entirely up to the AI. So the player will somehow navigate through here. You've got, from here, you're pretty much open, right? Like the player can do pretty much anything at this point. In my playthrough, I cut across here. I jumped into this lagoon and came around behind this guy. And the reason is because this guy has a rocket launcher, and if he sees you, it makes the level really tough. But the player wouldn't know that, obviously. I knew that, but and the range on this guy is pretty crazy. So running straight into the middle probably won't be the best path to provide the highest possibility of success. But it's an option. Player can do that if they want. But options here could be taking out the sniper so he doesn't quietly coming around, here, pop into any of the barracks, jump through the window, or whatever. I forgot to mention, so the objectives are right here and right here. The objective one is to get the key that unlocks the building. But then the player discovers that the key doesn't actually unlock the building and they have to adapt, right? So it's not as straightforward as just, okay, I got a key, now I can go open a door. I got a key, this key doesn't work. Now I've got to figure out a solution to that problem. Um, so in the playthrough, I came around this way. The boss, who's right here, had in my playthrough had come all the way down the mountain. I alerted everybody, so I got to encounter the boss a little bit earlier than intended, which left this main building pretty open in the playthrough. So I was able to get up to the the key pretty easily once I got inside the building. Okay, so objective one, and then you get out of the building and make your way over here. This is objective two, right here, the rescue the hostages. So the key is supposed to unlock the door, but of course it doesn't. And so the player makes his way, or her way, around here, break the window, and go in through the window. All right, so let's go. I want to briefly go back. I talked about the multiple paths and me giving players the agency to decide how they want to tackle the level. Not everybody wants to charge straight up the middle and shoot everything. So down here, what we have is sort of another path, an exploration element to the island, which players, may skip right past. They may come back to this later because the exit strategy is a little bit multi-dimensional as well. So we've got this same tower right over here, which can, if he's in this position to stand at the edge of the tower, we'll be able to see the player right here. Player has cover. The player has to be aware that the sniper is there. The player is going to encounter wildlife on the backside that's more aggressive than the wildlife that's on the front side. And so the player may not necessarily be alerting all of the AI bad guys, but there's definitely still an element of threat on the backside. You do have a couple of pathers on the backside because the camp is still interested in protecting the entire island. But from here, the player has a couple of options. This leads back up to the area where you're working directly towards the front. If you're the direct path, this area is kind of I wanted to put something cool into interesting to look at. So this is just a shrine to the cult goddess. So you come up here. This is back to this kind of little grove area that leads to the front side of the island. So this is that. Okay, I want to explore, and I may not want to stealth the whole way, but I don't, or I may not want to go head on the whole way. So this is the other true stealth path. You're coming really up around the back side of the island. There's one kind of guard up here that will roam this area and try to alert their friends if you don't take them out quietly. Because you're actually right here. If you take this guard out with a loud weapon, you're gonna alert the rocket guy up here. He's gonna hear it, and then he's gonna start shooting at you. So considering things like that, like if a player wants to take the stealth route, They also should have some off ramps so that they can change direction if they want to. But also, I think it's important to make sure that if you design a route that's intended to be stealth, um, adding some penalties if you don't stay in um, that play style adds a kind of a more organic feel. Okay, I found this path, and it allows me to bypass most of the enemies. And now I'm going to complete the objectives without raising any alarms, which you can do on this map. I've done it. It's not easy, but you can. So you come around here. If you're quiet enough, all of the shrubs and the trees count as cover, or excuse me, count as concealment. You can hide in the bushes. The bushes won't stop a bullet. The trees will. So you have to factor that in. You got a sniper up on the roof. The boss is in this building, but you can get in. You can actually get up to the top of the stairs. If you go this way, up here. Actually, you might alert her here at this point. I'm not really sure. I've never had it. I've had once where I was able to actually get in there, and she was wandering off somewhere else. But most of the time, I think you probably will get alerted at this point. Get the key. That's objective one, and then get back over here. So at this point, the process, the objectives are the same. I wanted to just show that stealth path and the options that are available. So on the back side is really kind of the explorer's path. The player can go completely around the island, which I think that's kind of that ought to be the case no matter what, because I think players expect to be able to walk all the way around the island. Maybe not. It's not a very big island. It's a big play space to design, but it's not a very big island. So you've got this entire back area that you can fill out with bonus stuff. I didn't do a whole lot because time constraints, and I wanted to get this video posted. But I mean, really, you could do anything with this. You can create another path that is maybe a hybrid between like stealth and direct confrontation. This backside is also the end of this zip line that I took in the playthrough that allows the player to get to the bottom. And this is really intended to be kind of like an oh crap escape route. There are other methods. You could jump off the other side with your wingsuit or your parachute. But this is like, okay, I'm fighting. I'm trying to get away. It's another escape route. And then the player can continue on around here, of course, to get back to the exit. Okay. So all that to say is to illustrate the kind of the point I was trying to make is players have different ways that they prefer to tackle objectives, and designing your map so that players have that agency uh, is a big factor in how much they will enjoy playing your level. It may not be the only factor, of course. It may not even be the most important factor, but players love choice, and giving them that choice and designing it in a way that allows them to um, feel like they're in control and that they figured it out. That ultimately is what's going to make your level memorable.